G'day, welcome to session 53 of my Oxygen Not Included game, and I think I could probably title this one, well, isn't that a fine mess you've got yourself into? So, definitely, I think some adjustments to what sort of like the flailing I did at the end of the last episode. Okay, so start from the start. Now, the first thing is, people did point out that Camille obviously needs a bed and a table. So the bed was slowly in its works, just sort of in that room there. But I definitely don't have a table ready to go for her. See that someone's walking through the door there, so I am going to lock this that way. Because it is a good point that they don't have to be able to walk in. Worst case, if they can't get in this room, they'll just stand somewhere and eat. So, not the biggest problem in the world. Let's just chuck that there. Okay, so Camille will soon have a table. And for a bed, what we've got to do is just remove these guys there. And then once those are gone, we'll chuck a bed in. We've got plenty of plastic to get that built. Okay. Thing one, working. We won't sort of tick that off the list just yet. Okay, glass I am sending to the wrong spot. So with our glass pipe, we don't want that sending to water because it's not what it's making. It is making hot metal, liquid glass stuff. So we don't want that just seeping into our, be it already gunky water supply. So let's just build a floor there. And what we will do is I want to build just a little sort of, I guess, catching unit underneath this. So we go... What was my suggestion here? We go have a look at the plumbing that we've got in this section, and we will just deconstruct those guys there. Instead, what we will do, we will just wait for those to be made. We will disable the building for now until that is fixed, even though it doesn't have power yet. That's fine. Alright, so we're still working on that one. Metal. Alright, so I also think that what we should be doing is this guy's water should be going into a separate location too. It shouldn't be going straight into here either. Because it is so significantly heating up that water. So what I want to do is just work out a different pool for that as well. So we will disable that building too. Maybe this area here I will use for 2 new pools. For this, what we're about to do. Although it's... I mean, we do have the nice cold section over there. Let's have a look. So we want to just have, I guess, firstly look at the plumbing again. And again, we'll just deconstruct that for now, just so it's not going anywhere. Did disable that, didn't I? Good. Alright, so we're definitely not solving any problems just yet. We're just sort of correcting existing issues. Next up. Right, next up. This one's was a really good suggestion. I really liked this one. What we should do for our new super slow girl. So let's just find a little bit of space somewhere in our base. Somewhere that we can take advantage of. This is probably a perfect little candidate. So what we want to do is we want to go into power and we want to set up a manual generator, and we will put that right there. We will then put, just to give her a little bit more positivity, how much is it costing me to make artworks? It cost me copper ore. That's... I don't want to give up too much copper ore, so we won't worry about that. Okay, so what we will do is we will build a tile there, and then we will build a pneumatic door there. We will then wait for those things to be built, and we'll come back to them. Now, the next thing I want to do was fix the wiring. I think that what I've done here is absolute overkill and nonsense. The idea that I was sort of operating on was that these were going to work to a point where there was more likely going to be more stuff working through the the power, and then once it sort of branches off, it doesn't need as much power. But I think that that's crazy. So instead, what I'll do is try and just work out a better, because there's no point in this having to go through the transformer and then operate out the other side. But I do already have one power supply that is going to be up at this end. So I think that possibly what we need to do is review all of this. We'll cancel the sections that haven't yet been built. Let's get rid of all of that. Then what we'll do is we will have a look at the power grid, and we will deconstruct anything that currently isn't connected to anything. Did I not get rid of those ones? Cool. Alright, so let's cancel those. Go back to our power look. Deconstruct those. That little bit there. Just all the heavy stuff in this section. And now I think that part there was all important, wasn't it? Possibly. Where are you running to? Alright, so you're running into the back of those transformers up there. So yes, you are heavy wire necessary. All of this part probably isn't. Go running through the back of a transformer doesn't really make too much sense, but I'd say we can just sort of cancel. We'll deconstruct all of that. And that should be fine. I'll leave that there for now. There's no harm in that sitting there. Okay, so getting rid of that. Now, this guy, he needs his natural gas. So we've opened this up and we can see that the gas is now going to sit, I guess, at that sort of height. Like it is pushing down. There must have been a bit of pressure to what was in there that has had it go down. So what we will do is we will get a gas pump in. You want to sit that a little bit lower, maybe. We'll put it there now. And we will get that gas pump there. And we'll need power for that too. Which we'll now have to figure out what that's coming out off of. So we could just be this guy. Let's deconstruct that too, and those two. And we'll just make that standard wiring around the outside there. Hope you all enjoyed watching me build all this just for me to destroy it. Alright, let's cancel those. Okay. So let's just give them a moment to try and make sense of everything that we've just given them instruction to do. Now, at the moment, it has actually knocked out power to other sections, not just these guys here. So we do need to sort of make sure that that is addressed nice and quick. So we'll put that bed in. We'll give them a masterpiece too. And we'll give them a painting. Now, I wonder if actually... Oh, they should be able to still shoot their way up there to get to that, right? She is hungry. You just stop doing things for now. Maybe you should just stay in base. What we're basically trying to do here is just have you just hang around. Not sure you should be doing any sort of actual duties. Let's go in there. Just wander backwards. Just really fill the day. Oh, buddy. Maybe you should take the rest of today off. Let's get that up on a priority there. I don't know, I assume that people can take the tube to get through there to that table, like, so otherwise there would be some sort of no access complaint, right? Yeah, good. Alright, so we can assign that to Camille. How's her bed going? Just keeping an eye on these things just so we can tick them off. There's a breakdown, Ashcan. What do you got? Sunburn for another part of a day. This is probably the priority, guys. Let's not worry about May's work. Beautiful. What was that noise? Okay, so this door, we are going to say permissions. Camille is allowed to go through it, but is it? Oh no, so we'll say default, no one's allowed to pass through this door. Camille has custom access in that she's allowed to pass through this door. This needs to run at urgent. Got a very important job for you, Camille. We need you to be in here pumping this generator non-stop. What we'll do is we'll just put a little roof above you, and we'll just put a battery up there. Then what we will do is we will run a power wire from one to the other, and then this can generate power for, I don't know, need to go into anything. Can we just maybe connect it to the rest of the grid? Just run it along there and can run into that, I guess. Although that's already the side that doesn't operate. I think this gets turned off whenever no one's using the slide. So let's actually let's cancel that. And we'll just put it on the just run it straight down into that one. Just help out with that. Alright, great. And it is a bit cruel as well to have Camille, the slowest person around, bed on the far side to where we're going to give her a job. Okay, so the theory here is that what will happen is Camille is the only one, excuse me, that can go in here. Because she's the only one that can go in there, it means that she'll get her athleticism going up because she's just going to spend all day running until she masters the art of running. And holy cow, Ashcan, this is huge. Like, we didn't want to say anything because we felt bad that you got locked out there, but this is a lot. Okay, let's pause for a second. So let's cross off. We have done Camille's bed and table. We have given Camille a job that will hopefully make her less likely to die, I suppose. Okay, so next up we've got these guys over here that we're looking at. So we want to design something in this area. So the first thing that we want to do is clear out this area. So we'll say dig everything there. Whether they're going to be able to get to all of it at the moment. Let's see. So we'll just give them that instruction first and see how they work with it. Okay, we do have, let's go back to power for a second and have a look at this. So this section here and everything that I think is currently disconnected is actually connected to this end. So they were possibly roundabout connected another way than what I'd thought anyway. So nothing else except for the stuff down here and the stuff up here is currently disconnected, and that is okay because I think what we can do then is we can try and operate this with its own separate network that revolves around the natural gas. Now, the first question on this should be, should I move these further away? Like, certainly we are going to experience some heat coming through from this guy, I would imagine. So should we just actually push him a bit more, or push them all a bit more this way, or even up here? What would be our best plan? The good news is that makes me feel a little less sort of urgent in trying to get these addressed, since everything here is on power through another direction. Still not great that the oxygen's not getting through to those, though. There's so little oxygen pumping through from down here. This guy's currently halted, though, which is half of where we're getting oxygen from, and that's because I've rigged up his cable. So he's probably the one thing that does matter that I have removed cable connections from. Let's deconstruct those, and deconstruct that. Let's get that tile back in place. Now, the thing I'm curious about here is the speed that this cools down. So I think it was up to about, what, 36 or so. And I've gotten down a little bit more. Take the plastic. I am on the lookout for a 12th member here. I currently have 11, and I would like 12. So, Camille is definitely still a work in progress, but... right, actually, let's remove the permissions for that dock. So I realize that currently it means Camille would be the only one able to work in there. She is too slow for that. Okay, not the greatest idea, guys, to just sort of remove your closest access straight away. But that's alright. Let's build across there, and we'll build across there. Now, I could possibly expand this out further this way too, depending on how big it needs to be. I was wondering if what I could possibly do is set up a similar system to this, for this, that we have the water that comes from this guy come down into here. It sits in there for a period, or like we've got a pump sitting at the bottom of it that slowly it will sort of take it across. Okay, so we've got this guy now set up. And we just need power getting down here. How close have we got the wires? This guy we've currently got connected to nothing, and we need him connected to two somethings. One will be in there, and we will just do that. And the other one will be straight down here. Going to follow the weird little path hook that guy does. And once he's gone, I'll just double check I've got my ventilation right down here. He will pump all the way up. We'll just double check that I've got my arrows facing the right way on them. Beautiful. Get in there. And this guy will pump the other way. We do definitely urgently want to get this going, because we've now got one of our pumps, and so my connection, half of our not functioning at the moment. Let's just up the priority of these guys. So they're the ones that we really want to focus on. Perfect. Okay, so this room is now set to go. We will turn off default access for everyone but Camille. We'll double check that is set to 9 priority. So it looks as if Camille's slowly making her way over there. You can do it, Camille. Just watching her get absolutely sped past. Come on, Camille. No, Camille. Wrong way, Camille. We appreciate that you're doing something for the whole community, Camille, but you've got a very important job. Well, that guy's on, so that last thing there seems incorrect. I guess the power's already connected, so we're good. That hopefully will give us a little bit more oxygen for these suits that just aren't getting their oxygen. It does really make me wonder about whether I need a second electrolyzer and an additional setup to what's going on down here to try and, if that's sort of my main way of getting oxygen. Because that seems like a starting, that gap's a little bit more significant now. But at least we are seeing that pump through a little bit better now. You just random pools of oxygen sitting in otherwise deconstructed pipes, I guess. May as well let the oxygen out. You just having a snack down there? Okay, nice work. So we've got this broken down. So what I want to do for this side is going to be let's run a ladder from here straight up to there. Put a tile there. We will tile. Didn't mean that one. Can't do that one. Actually, no, we're one up there, aren't we? So we want to be down here. So we'll cancel those ones. Tile there too. And we'll tile all the way along there. We'll dig out those two as well. One, I guess, to do with how often these guys are operating outside of the base, that these are in constant demand of needing that more oxygen. Battery charge threshold. Duplicates will just to operate the generator when the total charge of connected batteries falls below 100%. So that battery's getting charged from this, isn't it? Yeah, okay, I see what I've done. Okay. So, let's remove let's go wire and we'll deconstruct that one. What we'll do is we will just produce, let's go, just want something that's just going to burn a little bit of power. I think I've got about 10 tons of algae, and I'm not sure I'm using it that much anymore. Let's maybe let's just put a diffuser in. Pump oxygen, but I mean there's so much oxygen everywhere anyway that it's really that big a deal. Well, what are you huffing? Hydrogen. I don't know, man. Let's give you an airflow tile above. What can we connect to him? I mean, there's these guys, but are they don't really need that power. I mean, we can give them that power, I suppose, because it's almost exactly what I'm searching for. Something that doesn't necessarily need power that we can give power to. Let's cancel that because it'll collide with that. Um, okay. The other one thing that I haven't mentioned that came up a lot in the comments was the Aquatuners. That was mentioned a few times in terms of something that I should be looking at starting to do. It's either that water there is sitting in a nice cool 10 degrees as opposed to the liquid down here that's at 34. And that's still at 26. I mean, the area around that sort of 23, it's 29 up around this guy. Ah, he's pumping as well. Good to see. Although he's currently pumping to... Oh no, he's pumping back down here at the moment, I believe. So we can rotate that around later, but for now he is just contributing to these guys. Hey Camille, were you in there? And I missed out. But at least it's good to see the power's just winding down there so that she'll have to be back sometime. Okay, so from here, it was suggested that I have plumbing that is liquid pipe made of gold. Maybe it wasn't liquid pipe. Insulated pipe? Radiant pipe? That I can, liquid vent I can make of gold. Just missing it here. Ceramic. I suppose those overheat temperatures probably what we want. Copper seems to do it pretty well. Let's go the copper. So what we would want is we don't want to do much, basically. We have to get over that tube there, or we can just reroute that. Do we even need it anymore? It's not even being used. All right. So let's go deconstruct. Let's just reclaim some resources here. Okay. So that gets us clear through to here. Radiant pipe, copper. End of there. Then we'll go gold here. Like that. Now, from there... Talk to me about this a bit more. So it makes basically liquid glass. So then what we want is just, I guess, a little room here that we can get that liquid glass from. Buddy, we didn't need to see that. So let me make sure I'm getting this right. Actually, I put it here. Let's just double check. Jahan, sorry, was the one that did my nice detailed explanations on this one. So what were we saying? Just want a short pipe and a liquid vent dumping the glass onto the floor. Some insulating cooling to keep it from overheating your base. So I would say then what we want is we want to insulate. There was someone else that actually did that too. I think it was Ash. There we go. Output needs to be got. So sorry, this is clumsy wacko. Connected to a liquid vent. Make a mesh floor and a pool of water with insulated tiles for the glass to drip and freeze through. Right. Okay. So let's cancel for a second. So I think the way that's what he's saying there is what we want to do is we want to just basically make one of the points of the floor insulated. Sorry, insulated. Airflow, not airflow. Mesh. So say putting mesh here, I guess, and then we are going plumbing 1, 2. They were. Wait, we've got that selected as it's not what we want. Cancel, and we go back to plumbing. We go that, and we say copper. And we go 1, 2. Then we go this guy gold 1. So what that will do is it means it's the shortest pipe we can have possible. It's not going to cost us too much to do. The second part of that. That was drip freely, cool down. So I think then what I would do is go insulated, or although I don't want them to retain the heat. I don't know. Let's go not insulated to start with. That too small. Let's maybe let's go down one more. And what I'll do then is I'll build a ladder like that. The idea being that the tubes won't be climbing under where it's dripping. They'll be going down a ladder alongside it. I guess. Hopefully well, definitely there's only 2 minutes left in the so the video today, or at least the end of today will be the end of this one. So none of this will actually be in play prior to why am I not allowed to build there now? There we go. So certainly you can correct anything before it's too late and I kill anyone. It's nice to see that that is still going down. Okay, so for this guy, this is also I wanted to separate his liquid into its own little pool. Generator is idle because the pipe is blocked. Let's have a look at that piping. Is it possibly I've got something not... Is that blocked? Because it's... Okay, firstly what I need to do is obviously put a separate... what's he on here? Vent. To get the... Because that's not now... There's no natural gas left in this room at all. That seemed to end pretty quick. So, what we want is a gas filter. And we'll put that pretty close down here. Let's just do it here. So we will go... deconstruct that. Basically where it'll fit there, right? Yeah, okay. So we want output pipe, input pipe. That way. And turn this around so we'll deconstruct that guy. So it will be... We'll wait for that to get deconstructed. Always rely on you, Stinky, to get down and get the job done. Okay, so this guy will now be... Output 2 is... natural gas. And natural gas will go... 1, 2, 3. And then this guy can just go there. And then we'll just put a gas vent there. Look at that. There we go. That's our picture for today. We'll get you there eventually, Camille. Okay, so I guess for the end of today, future things that I'm looking, I guess, to do in the next one will be, number 1, sorting this guy out so that he actually operates just to these guys, not sort of back to the main supply system. Number 2, have I done something wrong here in that geyser is already empty? Do I actually have to be sort of farming it more actively than just sort of being in the room with it? Is it just that it eventually will explode with natural gas, or am I doing something wrong? The next question then would be, is this right? Am I making that in a ideal way? Like, I realize it might not be safe for guys trying to get down in there to get that. Should I do something else with it, or is that good? Thirdly, should I move that further away from my base, or should I just insulate the water and the walls near it? And is this sort of an ideal way that I have a separate section for the water coming from it, and with that water then possibly set up something that eventually moves it over here, or even just, I don't know, put a pump in it that eventually, that if I leave it be for long enough and it cools, I can then shift it over, because it might not actually end up being that much water. Those are probably the big questions of the next one. Please point out any mistakes that I've made. I do greatly appreciate it. You are the reason that I'm still alive. Any questions or comments, feel free to check them below. Until next time, catch you later. See ya.